Hello, everyone, sisters, daughters, mothers, friends. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin up. You were never meant to shrink. I see you. I see the fire in your eyes, the weight on your back, the dreams in your hands. I see how you have built empires out of whispers, how you have turned doubt into determination. And yet I see how the world asks you to prove yourself again and again, as if your worth is a question and not a fact. But hear me now. You do not have to carry the world on your back to be worthy. You do not have to break yourself just to be seen. Working harder is not the lesson, it is the habit we have been given. But wisdom, now that is the prize. Wisdom is knowing that power is not in the weight you bear, but in the way you rise. Let me tell you something, and hear me well. You were never meant to wear yourself thin just to prove that you belong. You were never meant to run yourself ragged carrying burdens that were never yours to hold. Somewhere along the way, we were told that the harder we worked, the more we'd be respected. That if we put in twice the effort, we get half the recognition. That if we broke ourselves into pieces, someone might finally see the masterpiece we always were. But no, my dear, that is not the truth. That is the lie they gave us to keep us too tired to rise. Listen to me now. Your value is not in how much you suffer. It is in how you move, how you decide, how you wield your wisdom like a sword and cut through the noise. Working smarter is knowing that leadership is not about endless sacrifice, but about clarity of purpose. It is knowing where your power truly lies, not in exhaustion, not in proving yourself to people who will never see, but in the way you make decisions with confidence, in the way you build without losing yourself. You don't have to be the first one in the office and the last one to leave just to earn your place. You don't have to say yes to every demand placed on you. A strong woman, a wise woman, a woman who leads knows that her energy is sacred, that every moment spent in unnecessary struggle is a moment taken away from where she is truly needed. A leader understands that presence is not about being everywhere at once, but about showing up fully where it matters most. We have seen too many women break under the weight of expectations that were never meant to be theirs alone. Too many brilliant minds, too many fierce souls, burning out before their fire had the chance to light the way. But that is not your path. Your path is to move with intention, to be strategic, to know that working harder is not the answer when working smarter will get you where you need to be. And how do we work smarter? We learn to delegate without guilt. We learn to trust the team we build. We learn that perfection is not the goal, progress is. We learn that leadership is not about drowning in responsibility, but about directing the current with wisdom. We understand that time is our most precious currency, and we spend it wisely, not wasted on proving points that do not need proving. So let me say this again. You do not have to prove yourself through struggle. You do not have to be twice as good to be seen as enough. You are enough already. Your value does not come from how much you push yourself past the point of exhaustion, but from how you stand in your power with grace, how you make choices that protect your vision, how you move through this world knowing that your place is already yours to claim. And when you claim it, you make room for another. Because leadership, true leadership, is not about how hard you can work alone. It is about how wisely you can build something that lasts. So, my sister, lift your head, take a breath, and step forward not with the weight of struggle, but with the confidence of someone who knows exactly where she is meant to be. They told us that strength is in how much we can endure, that if we just push through, if we just hold on a little longer, if we just take one more weight upon our backs, we will prove that we are worthy. They taught us that exhaustion is a sign of dedication, that overwork is a badge of honor, that if we are not drained at the end of the day, then we have not done enough. But I have lived long enough to tell you this. Endurance alone is not power. Suffering is not a requirement for success. And strength? Strength is not in how much you carry, but in knowing what is worth carrying in the first place. A wise woman does not spend her energy on battles that do not serve her purpose. She does not say yes to everything, hoping that approval will follow. She does not waste her brilliance trying to prove herself to those who are committed to misunderstanding her. No, she moves with intention. She understands that her time, her energy, her power, these are not limitless. They must be spent with care. You see, the world will ask you to give and give and give. It will take what you offer and then ask for more. But a woman who leads, a woman who understands her worth, does not let the world drain her dry. She does not confuse exhaustion with accomplishment. She knows that true power is not found in burnout, but in balance, in knowing when to push forward and when to step back, in knowing when a battle is hers to fight and when it is simply a distraction disguised as duty. We have seen too many brilliant women fall into the trap of doing more just to be taken seriously. We have seen them stretch themselves so thin that there is nothing left to give to their own dreams, their own visions, their own well-being. And I ask you, what good is success if it costs you yourself? What good is leadership if it drains you instead of lifting you? So hear me when I say this. Power is not about how much you endure. It is about how well you choose. It is about knowing that every yes you give to something unworthy is a no to something that truly matters. It is about understanding that leadership is not measured by the number of hours you work, but by the impact you make. And how do we protect our power? We learn the art of saying no, not out of selfishness, but out of wisdom. We stop apologizing for setting boundaries. We stop feeling guilty for protecting our peace. We recognize that working smarter means making choices that serve our highest goals, not simply taking on everything that comes our way. A woman in leadership does not let the world dictate how she should spend her time. She does not let others define her worth. She does not allow busyness to disguise itself as progress. Instead, she focuses her energy where it truly matters. She surrounds herself with those who uplift her, not those who drain her. She learns that delegation is not weakness, that prioritizing herself is not selfish, and that rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. So let this be your truth. You do not have to prove your strength through struggle. You do not have to wear yourself down just to show that you belong. Your power is in your choices, in your clarity, in your ability to protect your energy and direct it with purpose. Because a true leader does not move through life trying to carry everything. She moves through life choosing what is worthy of her strength. And when she does that, she does not just survive, she thrives. They will tell you that leadership is lonely, that to rise you must walk alone, that the higher you climb, the fewer hands there will be to hold. But I am here to tell you that this is a lie told to keep us divided, a lie told to keep us struggling in silence, a lie told to make us believe that strength is measured by solitude. But hear me, and hear me well, real leadership is not found in isolation. Real leadership is found in the power of connection, in the wisdom of community, in the courage to lift as we climb. A woman who leads does not move through the world with her fists clenched, guarding her success as if it is something that can be stolen. No, she moves with open hands, open arms, open doors. She understands that leadership is not about standing alone at the top, but about making sure there is room for others to rise. She knows that success is not a race where only one can win, but a path where many can walk together. But too often we have been made to believe that we must do it all ourselves, that if we ask for help, we are weak, that if we lean on others, we are unworthy, that if we share our knowledge, our power will diminish. But let me tell you something. A leader who does everything alone is not leading, she is surviving. And survival is not the goal, thriving is. Flourishing is. Building something so strong that it lasts beyond you, That is the goal. And how do we build something that lasts? We recognize that collaboration is not a weakness, it is a force. We recognize that lifting another woman up does not take away from our own success, it amplifies it. We recognize that real power is not hoarded, it is shared. Because when one woman stands tall, she lights the way for another. When one woman finds her voice, she makes space for others to speak. And when women work together, when they support each other instead of compete, there is no force in the world that can stop them. But let us be honest. This world has tried to turn us against each other. It has whispered in our ears that there is only so much room at the top, that another woman's success is a threat to our own. It has made us feel that we must be the exception, that we must outwork, outperform, outshine. But that is not the truth. The truth is there is room for all of us. The truth is we are stronger together. The truth is when women stand side by side, when they mentor, when they uplift, when they create spaces for each other, they do not just lead, they transform. So let us lead differently. Let us redefine leadership as a space of inclusion, not exclusion. Let us build circles, not pyramids. Let us celebrate the wins of our sisters as if they were our own. Let us remember that leadership is not just about climbing, it is about reaching back, pulling forward, and making sure no woman is left behind. And when we do that, when we lead with open hands instead of clenched fists, when we embrace collaboration instead of competition, when we see each other as allies instead of rivals, then and only then will we truly rise. They will tell you that a leader must always be the loudest in the room, that to command respect, you must fight every battle, answer every challenge, prove your strength at every turn. But listen to me and listen well. True leadership is not in shouting the loudest. It is in knowing when to speak and when to let silence do the talking. It is in knowing which battles are worth your energy and which ones are simply distractions disguised as duty. A woman who leads does not exhaust herself fighting every fight that comes her way. She knows that not every argument deserves a response, not every challenge is worth her time, and not every invitation to conflict must be accepted. She moves with precision, with clarity, with purpose. She understands that her energy is her power, and she refuses to waste it on things that do not serve her higher goal. The world will try to pull you into endless debates, force you to prove yourself over and over again, make you believe that your voice must always be raised for it to be heard. But wisdom teaches us otherwise. There is a time to speak and a time to listen, a time to fight and a time to step away, a time to command attention with words and a time to let your presence alone speak volumes. A true leader does not move impulsively, she moves intentionally. Some people will mistake silence for weakness, but do not be fooled. Silence can be the sharpest tool in a leader's hands. Silence can disarm, can disrupt, can demand attention without ever raising a voice. The strongest woman in the room is not always the one who speaks the most. It is the one who speaks when it truly matters. She knows that her voice carries weight, and so she does not waste it on noise. But do not mistake this for passivity. A leader is never passive. She is always aware, always calculating, always choosing her next move with care. She knows that fighting every battle will only drain her, while choosing her battles will empower her. She understands that sometimes the most powerful statement she can make is to walk away from a fight that is beneath her, to refuse to engage in spaces that do not honor her presence. And when she does speak, she speaks with purpose. Her words are not wasted. Her message is clear. She does not speak just to fill the air. She speaks to shift the room, to inspire, to challenge, to lead. And when she speaks, people listen because they know that when she chooses to use her voice, it is for something that truly matters. So let me tell you this. You do not need to prove your power through constant struggle. You do not need to fight every battle to show that you are strong. You do not need to explain yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. A leader chooses where to place her energy, and she does so wisely. Walk with confidence, move with purpose, speak when it matters. And when it doesn't, let your silence remind them of the power you hold. They will tell you to wait your turn, to be patient, to make yourself smaller until someone decides you are ready, until someone gives you permission to take up space. But hear me now and hear me well. Confidence is not something that is handed to you. It is something you claim. It is something you step into. It is something you wear like armor, even on the days you feel unsteady. A woman who leads does not wait for validation. She does not shrink to make others comfortable. She does not whisper when she was meant to speak. She walks into the room as if she belongs there, because she does. She knows that confidence is not arrogance, and it is not about proving herself to anyone. Confidence is knowing that she is already enough, that her voice matters, that her presence is not something to be questioned, but something to be felt. But too often, we have been taught to doubt ourselves. We have been told to second-guess our instincts, to ask for permission, to soften our voices so we do not seem too much. We have been made to believe that confidence is something other people decide we deserve, that we must earn it through struggle, through sacrifice, through endless proof of our worth. But let me tell you this: your confidence is yours to claim, not theirs to grant. It does not come from the approval of others. It comes from within. A true leader understands that confidence is not about being fearless. No, fear will always be there, whispering in the background, trying to keep you in place. But confidence is choosing to move forward anyway. Confidence is standing firm even when your hands shake. Confidence is knowing that your voice is no less powerful just because it trembles. They will try to make you question yourself. They will ask, "Are you sure?" when you already know the answer. They will tell you to slow down, to rethink, to adjust yourself to fit their expectations, but a leader does not ask for permission to lead. She steps forward, not because she has no doubt, but because she refuses to let doubt control her. And confidence does not mean you have all the answers. It does not mean you never make mistakes. A confident woman is not one who knows everything. She is one who trusts herself enough to figure things out. She is one who asks questions without fear of looking foolish. She is one who stands in her truth, even when others do not understand it. She is one who refuses to apologize for being exactly who she is. But let me be clear, confidence does not mean walking alone. A leader surrounds herself with those who uplift her, who remind her of her strength when the world tries to make her forget. She does not waste her energy seeking approval from those who will never see her work. She does not wait for a seat at the table. She builds her own. So let this be the truth you carry with you. Your confidence is not something to be earned. It is something to be embraced. Do not wait for permission to shine. Do not ask for approval to take up space. Walk into every room knowing you belong. Speak with the certainty that your words have weight. And move through this world with the knowledge that you are already everything you need to be. They will tell you that to be successful, you must always be available, that to be respected, you must say yes to every request, every opportunity, every demand placed upon you. They will say that a strong woman carries it all, does it all, and never complains. But listen to me now. Boundaries are not barriers. They are the wisdom that protects your power. A woman who leads does not let the world dictate how she spends her time, how she gives her energy, how she moves through her day. She understands that her strength is not measured by how much she can endure, but by how well she protects what is sacred, her peace, her purpose, her well-being. She knows that saying no is not rejection, it is redirection. It is a choice to invest her energy where it matters most. But too often, we have been taught that setting boundaries is selfish, that saying no makes us difficult, makes us unkind, makes us less of a team player. We have been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to our ability to please, to accommodate, to be endlessly available, and so we push ourselves past exhaustion, past frustration, past the breaking point, just to be seen as enough. But let me tell you something. A leader who gives everything to everyone leaves nothing for herself. And a leader who has nothing left to give cannot truly lead. Boundaries are not walls that keep people out. They are doors that let the right things in. A leader knows that her energy is a resource and she spends it with intention. She understands that protecting her time is not neglecting others, it is honoring herself. She knows that a woman who is constantly drained, constantly pulled in every direction cannot stand strong in her purpose. And make no mistake, setting boundaries is not easy. It will make some people uncomfortable. It will make some people question you. It will make some people upset because they have benefited from your lack of boundaries for too long. But a woman who leads does not shrink to keep others comfortable. She does not apologize for protecting herself. She does not explain why her well-being matters. She simply stands firm and moves forward. Boundaries are not just about saying no to what does not serve you. They are also about saying yes to what does, yes to rest, yes to balance, yes to time spent on what fuels your soul instead of what drains it. Yes to the understanding that you do not have to be everything to everyone. Yes to leading with clarity, not chaos. And when a woman sets boundaries, she teaches others how to treat her. She teaches them that her time is valuable. She teaches them that she will not be taken for granted. She teaches them that respect is not optional, it is required. So let me tell you this. You do not need to apologize for setting limits. You do not need to feel guilty for protecting your peace. You do not need to explain why you are choosing yourself. A leader knows that her power does not come from doing it all. It comes from doing what matters most. So stand firm, hold your ground, and never be afraid to draw the line where it needs to be drawn. They will tell you that success is about the destination, that leadership is about reaching a peak, about standing at the top, about proving that you have arrived. But listen to me, and listen well. True leadership is not about where you end up. It is about how you grow along the way. It is about who you become in the process. It is about embracing the journey, not just chasing the outcome. A woman who leads understands that growth is not a straight path. It is winding, unpredictable, filled with lessons that only come through experience. She does not rush through it, desperate to check off accomplishments like items on a list. No, she allows herself to evolve, to learn, to shift, to expand. She knows that every challenge she faces, every failure she overcomes, every lesson she absorbs is shaping her into the leader she is meant to be. But too often we have been taught to focus only on results, to measure ourselves by titles, by accolades, by external validation. We have been told that if we do not have something to show for our work, something tangible, something impressive, then we are not moving forward. But let me tell you this, growth cannot always be measured in awards or promotions. Sometimes growth is quieter. Sometimes it is in the wisdom gained, in the strength built, in the way you handle the struggles that once would have broken you. And let me be clear, growth is not always comfortable. It will ask you to let go of what no longer serves you. It will push you out of places where you were once